Why is it that England don't maintain success for long? Why is there no these 50s? And that's it, really. There was a period around 2010.
1880s?
Obviously, just before the wrong one was obviously discovered.
Yeah, they probably, have they ever had a 10-year period outside of the 50s?
Dominance? No, they haven't. No, we haven't.
So why not?
I don't think there's any reason, is there? Is it maybe dumb luck?
I don't.
How many teams have had a 10-year period?
Well, India have just had one.
India, South Africa,
Well,
West
all of
Indies,
them.
Australia.
What's our
West
cricket
Indies,
win?
Australia, South
Well,
Africa.
look at
Pakistan.
New Zealand.
Pakistan have had.
Oh, the 80s?
Yeah, the 80s. They had
probably
a
did,
terrific
yeah.
record against the West Indies, who were the dominant side.
Yeah, that's another one.
Look at the window that we've got in our climate. What window do we have? May,
Yeah.
May, June, July, August.
He makes a fair point. I was just in Delhi, and they were all
Yeah,
everyone in
June,
Delhi,
July,
people in Delhi were wearing beanies, right? It was 26 degrees, but they were wearing beanies, and it got down to about 12, 14 at night. So they have a bit of a, and everyone's saying, "You enjoying the winter?
Yeah.
You enjoying the winter?" And I went down to Virat Kohli, where he learned his cricket at the West Delhi Cricket Academy. They had the full, not just the synthetic nets working, they had the full normal nets working, right? Now, maybe the pitches aren't quite as good at this time of year because it does get cold at night and everything else, but you could play cricket on those pitches 12 months of the year, right? Like a turf pitch in India, unless you're right up in the north, maybe in the mountains or in one of the wet areas, you can probably play all year. In England, you can't play for majority of the year.
No.
Cricket. And not only that, we would all argue there's probably about 1.5 months of the summer where it's not even a normal kind of cricket because you're playing on puddings where the balls.
And it's not the dominant sport of the country. It's
Yeah, but you
nothing
can
like.
argue that about New Zealand, Australia, South Africa as well.
And the West Indies.
West Indies probably is on the edge of that too, aren't they?
I mean, if you're talking about...
You're right, though. He is right, though. Isn't that another part?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to this amazing question I've come up with. But I do find it interesting because, you have these very, very short periods, windows, from, say, 2003 to 2005, where England were terrific and they won it.
Yeah.
They beat everyone. And then you've got 2009 to about 2013, 12, again.
Yeah.
And you're right about talking about the seasons, but also I think about fitness. What is one of the problems that England always seem to encounter, and that's injuries to some of their better players. I don't know whether maybe that's dumb luck.
It's inevitable that you're going to get injured. The quick ballers around the world get injured.
Can I give you something on this, though? This is probably less to do with very modern cricket, but traditionally, how many England bowlers were great for 3 or 4 years and then were crocked because they were bowling in 30 games a year in county cricket, where the Aussies are bowling in 8 to 10?
Well, I understand that, but at that time they would be playing on uncovered pitches.
Yeah, but it's
and
still...
you would get you where you landed. When these fast bowlers, Fred Truman, Brian Statham, going back to that era, Les Jackson and Harold Rhodes, they landed softly and made an almighty hole. And so it didn't impact on you.
It's a lot of running in, though, as well.
Yeah.
It was back foot, no ball law and some of that, so I'll give you that.
Way back. But 3-day cricket was the norm. Yeah. And so you weren't out there for 2 days.
But Australian cricketers and South African cricketers, West Indian, Pakistani, wherever, as far as top-level cricket, so top-level professional cricket are playing 40 to 50 days a year.
Yeah.
And English cricketers are playing 80 to 120.
Yeah.
That is a big difference.
It is.
And so is some of the best cricket that some of those guys played in county cricket and not for their national teams, whereas generally for the international teams, it would be for your international team.
You see, you come on to present day, and I would prefer a system of 3 divisions of 6, and to play county championship, 10 matches with a promotion and relegation. That's what I'd do, to make it quality rather than quantity, and play it in the summer months, make it meaningful. And out of the 550 million that the game has had an injection, take 20 million out of that, and that's for the winner of the county championship. And they're going to play 10 matches. Now, county members are going to scream at me, I want more cricket. I want you to see the very best cricketers playing the very best cricket in that window. Yeah. In summer. That's what I try to, and I would get heaps. They would pile into me, a county member, as to, we want more cricket. We want 14 matches. What? In April, when it's cold and you need the gritter out, I want it to be a meaningful competition, county championship.
I think that's all part of it. I remember in 2018, 2019, Goffey saying something along the lines of that him and Anderson had bowled the same amount of deliveries in professional cricket by that point. Goffey had bowled more than half of his for, in Essex or Yorkshire or wherever.
Yeah.
And Jimmy had bowled like 65, 70% for England. And so if you've got, I think we would all admit that Darren Gough probably didn't play at the level he should have for as long as he should have, right?
But his knee gave way on him. His knee gave way.
He
So
should have played another 25 tests.
So he should have been around for another 25 tests if he was just handled a little bit better. But he had to play first-class cricket. Whereas I think if you're an Australian or a South African cricketer and you're at Darren Gough's level, they'd be like, well, there aren't that many games. You can miss a couple here and there.
That goes back to the point you made, and we covered that because cricket maybe doesn't have the prominence that other sports do, that it's just not creating enough players of high quality. Therefore, there's more over-reliance on those players, which then leads to them breaking down more often. And when they do, the drop off to the next rung on the ladder is maybe not as close as it is with other countries. Could that be a reason why? There was another one thrown there as well.
I don't think talent is the overall issue.
I don't.
But I would
quantity of quality.
Well, what I would say is you've got 55 million people in the country, right? Of those 55 million, the vast majority of your cricketers come from kids who can afford private schools, and now the Asian community, right?
And northern bowlers.
And I was going to say northern bowlers. In his days, it was northern batters as well. Now it's northern bowlers. And so you're not really making the most out of the 55 million, are you? So I do think there is an element to that. But, I mean, you could say the same if we had that period where Australian cricket was dominant, just as Aussie rules football and rugby league become really big. Like, there have been great Aussie rules players who would have been test greats that Australia didn't get, right? And it wasn't until Mitchell Marsh picked cricket over football, and if his old man wasn't a cricketer, he might not have done that we had really people who picked cricket over football for a long period of time. That didn't stop Australia dominating cricket. Okay. So there isn't.
They've got the weather, they've got the facilities, they've got the weather, they've got the number of teams that you can. They've got the culture. You can manage the players because they haven't got that many teams. I don't think academies. Now we've got the county academies. I don't think they do come from private school. I think they're from ordinary backgrounds and ordinary schools. But
the vast majority of the cricketers in the country come from like a few smaller groups.
Yes.
So for instance, Australia's best fast bowler is Mitchell Starc, right? He does not come from a traditional cricket background, right?
Right.
He comes from a Eastern European background. Simon Kadich came from an Eastern European background. So immigrants come to Australia and become part of a cricket culture and then end up playing. Michael Devanutton, I could go through all these guys. Phil Hughes was...
Lenny Pascoe.
Yeah, Lenny Pascoe. All these guys have come through and done that. We haven't seen that in England. We haven't seen a Polish kid come through or a Romanian kid come through in the same way. So we know that there is... Cricket keeps getting it's from a small bucket and it's a brilliant bucket. Don't get me wrong.
Cheers.
But it's the same bucket.
But it's the same bucket over and over again. And maybe you're not getting that in some of these other cricket cultures as well. I don't know. I just feel that so India hasn't even got the most out of its talent yet.
No.
The east of India basically doesn't even produce first class cricketers yet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, talent talent recognition is very important. And then you move into your academies and your age groups. You've got to get your best coaches there who can identify a talent. And that talent has got to come through. And I just think that with the academies now leaving at 18, I think that's a bit premature. I think at least 19.
So can I give you another one as well? I think in England, it is almost impossible to be a professional cricketer if by the age of 24 you haven't already played professional cricket.
That's right, yeah.
That is not the case in Australia, right? And it's not the case in New Zealand. Australia and New Zealand are much more flexible with that, right? I think Ian O'Brien maybe started at 25, Dirk Nana started at 29.
You're right. I was watching the ODI between New Zealand and West Indies last week, and you've got Daryl Mitchell, who made his debut age 29, 30, and he was batting with Devon Conway, who for other reasons, he didn't make his international debut till about the same age. So I don't really get that in England so much.
You remember the guy from Surrey, Tim Lindley?
I do, yeah.
I've tried to talk to him before about this because he's one of the few guys that started later.
The Count.
Yeah, the Count. But when you go back and when I chatted to him about it, he did say, I was actually kind of in the system. I just wasn't getting games. Whereas in Australia, you know, we had got two guys I could think of in the same era, which was Mick Lewis and Shane Harwood, who, when I was playing cricket, Mick Lewis was a club cricketer, right? And then the next year he was playing for Victoria at 26. Shane Harwood was 28, 29. They just went and found a fast bowler in the country and brought him in. You can't tell me there aren't cricketers outside of the professional culture in England.
I'm sure they do initiatives, you know, years and years ago, they used to be sponsored, find a fast bowler, find a spinner and find a batter. And I always thought they were good fun for a start.
Yeah.
They were good for a broadcaster to cover. Eventually you come down to a winner, and how he develops in the game is something else. But if you're not in the system, it's very, very difficult.
I think that's my point is I do think there's an element in England that
so you would
have to be in the system, or you have to be from an Asian background or a private school background or a northern cricket bubble background to be the person who is found at the right time to play. And I'm not sure that every other cricket culture kind of has that. And maybe in the Asian cricket culture, they certainly have their own problems with finding talent, right? And everything else. But there's so many kids that play cricket there, maybe that overcomes it. And then in New Zealand and Australia, and you know, there's other reasons why they are successful. But I do think there is something in England that is not quite working the way that it should be.